quite impressed at the number of sports that have been adapted for disabled people, though. It's nice that they are so inclusive these days. I reckon we should go further and adapt versions of classic board games as well. You could play a very special edition of Guess Who, where all the characters had disabilities. No one would ever win, because everyone would be too afraid to describe their character in case they caused offense. The questions would be fun as well. Is your person incontinent? Does your person have crayon around his mouth? Does your person have trouble speaking properly? Is your person Danny Dyer? You could also have a disabled version of Monopoly, where every space is just free parking. Speaking from the personal experience of a bloke with a disability, I think that the dating game is much harder for people like myself. I've tried speed dating. That didn't work. By the time I'd typed out a sentence, it's time to move on to the next person. And I'm not looking for sympathy either. I'm just using emotional blackmail to try to get someone to sleep with me. I'll be in the bar afterwards, if any of you are interested. Yes, even you, sir. One of the main problems I have with dating is that I find it hard to approach girls in the traditional sense. I don't have the ability to chat up a woman. When I meet a girl, I have to type them up. And that just sounds wrong. You type up your dissertation, you type up your will, and you type up your letter to your grandma. There's nothing sexy about being typed up. Even if there was, when you're typing excitedly to a woman, and accidentally spell something wrong, autocorrect is a ducking nightmare. For example, I once asked a girl if she had a pen I could borrow, so I could write down her number. I didn't expect it to say, "Can I borrow your penis?" So you can imagine my surprise when she pulled it out right in front of me. It's at this point in my set when I like to remind people that I'm not related to Stephen Hawking in any way. In fact, the closest I have ever come to being Hawking is when I went to see The Theory of Everything at the cinema. It's the movie about Stephen Hawking and his life. I didn't go to watch it though. I just went so that I could sit at the back, say random sentences on my iPad, and fuck with the rest of the audience.
As much as you want to save animals, I'm pretty sure you're not going to do it by buying cosmetics. Pretty sure you can't walk into the body shop and buy some burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub, and some little badger somewhere in Scotland is going to go, "Wow, I feel a whole lot better about my life right now." Somebody's buying that burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub. I don't see the point in testing cosmetics on rabbits anyway, because they're already cute. Slather some lip gloss and eyeliner all over them. Now they're all gussied up like some $3 whore. There's no dignity in that for a rabbit whatsoever. You want to test out cosmetics? Test them out on big game, because they stink. Get up under a hippopotamus there and get some roll-on deodorant under his armpit. See how fresh and self-assured he stays all day, huh? Little lip gloss on a beaver. Real beaver. Stay with me, fella. Real beaver. Right? Dam building, log-eating beaver. If he's charged through 60 logs and he's still wearing that lip gloss, that's some damn good lip gloss right there, ladies and gentlemen. You know this whole thing about, you ever meet someone famous and you tell your friends, and then they say, "Well, what was he like?" Because all they really want to hear is that he was a prick. So I like to say Tom Cruise is the nicest guy in Hollywood. And I always think, well, if I was making $8 million a film, I'd be nice too. Jesus Christ. But I'm not sure he is that nice. Because I always read these articles about how he's so insular and he's into his Scientology and he, stays at a hotel, won't make eye contact with anyone in the hotel because he doesn't want to talk about the plots to his new films. Apparently, as if staring Tom Cruise in the face, he would just crack under pressure. What are you staring at? Hey, you want to hear about my new film? You ever seen a Tom Cruise film like he couldn't figure out the plot in about 18 seconds? Oh, Christ. He's a cocktail maker. He's a pretty good cocktail maker, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence and can't make cocktails anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better cocktail maker. A riveting piece of cinema that was. Then he's a race car driver. Pretty good race car driver, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence. Can't race cars anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better race car driver. Then he's a jet pilot. Some of you are starting to see a pattern emerge here. Pretty good jet pilot? Yes, he was. Till he had a crisis of confidence, couldn't fly jets anymore. Then I believe he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better jet pilot. Then he was a sports agent. Then he was the brother of a retarded guy. And he was a pretty good brother of a retarded guy till he had a crisis of confidence and wasn't so sure he was such a good brother of a retarded guy. And then he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better brother of a retarded guy. Then he was some kind of, I don't know what he's in now, War of the Worlds. Maybe he fights the world. And you know what? I bet he's a pretty good world fighter. But at some point he'll probably have a crisis of confidence. He's going to meet a good-looking woman who convinces him it's okay to fight the world. Could be a Scrabble player for all I care. He's a pretty good Scrabble player. Till he draws all vowels. Has a crisis of consonants. And he meets a lovely Welsh woman who teaches him a lot of words he's never heard before.
Do you love London? I love London. I feel like London is created by the people, right? Who are just crazy and sexy and ambitious. I got into an Uber the other day, not bragging, and I got into an Uber and the driver, he said, would you like to have the radio on? And I was like, I don't mind, it's up to you. And then he said, well, actually, I make my own music. Do you mind if I put some of that on? No, I don't. And then he put on Drake's new album. I wonder how often it works. I wonder how often there's a middle-aged white woman thinking, oh, well, he looks like Aladdin and he sounds like confidence personified. Pull over and jump in the back, Nikolai. I'm having a good life. I have recently started doing yoga, which has just changed... Yes, woo for the yoga over there. Are you a team? I'm new to it. I love it. Yoga has changed my life. It's brilliant. Yoga is my new drug. My old drug was drugs. Which I'm not going to say anything positive about because it would be incredibly irresponsible. I'm not going to say anything positive about drug taking. What I will say is I didn't take MDMA until I was 32, and it was such a relief to know I could be happy. See, the equipment's broken. But yoga is nearly as good, and there's no downsides. It's given me a whole new language. My favourite new word is namaste. Yeah, it's a very old word, it's very sacred, and it means the yoga has finished now. And then you're allowed to leave. I think that the key to being happy as you get older is self-acceptance. Like, I have to accept things about myself now. Like, I'm 36, I thought I would have children by now, and I don't. In an ideal world, what I wanted to self-fertilise. I wanted to have children that were exactly my genetics so that I could show them to my parents and go, see, it was my childhood, they're fine. Science can't do that yet. And then I had a crazy day last month where I just thought, I'm just going to buy some sperm. I'm just going to buy some sperm. sperm off the internet. I've got a good job. I'm just going to buy some sperm. Guys, sperm is so much more expensive than I thought it was going to be. It is tens of thousands of pounds. We are all wasting a valuable resource. 17-year-old me would have been a millionaire if I'd learned how to catch it and chuck it in the freezer. It's a shock. I do think self-acceptance is the key. Like, there's things about myself I don't like, but I just have to accept now that they're not going to change. This is who I am. Like, so for instance, I don't like art. I think art is rubbish. I think lots of people think art is rubbish, but we're too worried of looking stupid, so we go along with it. I think that the worst art form is theatre. Right, okay, I can sense how unpopular this opinion is. Hear me out. I think theatre is diabolical. Look, I do, look, and also, I'm aware, if you are a performer of some kind, if you're an actor, look, please don't be offended. I don't mean being in the play. Obviously, if you're the person in the play that gets to put a wig on and walk up and down and move your arms and project your voice, saying things like, I think you'll find you're contradicting yourself, Alan. Fun. Having to watch it. Dear Christ. I can't concentrate. I can't lose myself in the story. I know that it's not real because I'm surrounded by people eating crisps. And they don't let you look at your phone. So all you're thinking is, well, how long has it been?
Oh, we have a great show for you tonight. We have a fantastic show. Very funny comedians. I know funny. I do very funny. People always ask me who I think is funny. That's the number 2 question I get asked as a comedian. The number 1 question I get asked as a comedian is, have you ever died? As soon as you tell someone you're a comedian, first thing they want to know, oh, you ever died? Oh, what's it like when no one laughs? Oh, tell us about the worst gig you've ever had in your life. Please, relive for me, in minute detail, the worst moment of your professional career. Have you ever really died? It's like saying to a doctor, tell us about the last patient you lost. What happened? With the family crying. I bet they were they? Yeah. People are such ghouls. It's the number 1 question. Have you ever died? Number 2 question, though, is what makes you laugh? People always want to know that from me. Who do you think is funny? And that's a nicer question. That's more understandable. You know, I make people laugh. People want to know what makes me laugh. In the same ways you might say to your hairdresser, who cuts your hair? Or you might say to someone in an Audi, who do you think drives like a cock? Same kind of thing. I like that joke. It's a short joke, it's a sharp joke, and also with that joke, I get to spot every Audi driver in the room. I can just see it there. Pinched expression on your face there. All right, no need to be like that about it. I've done well for myself. It's a very reliable machine. And the fact that I can tell you're an Audi driver by the expression on your face means technically you've just given a form of indication. So well done. Good for you. I knew you could do it. Yeah. Have you ever died? Who do you think is funny? You always get asked the same questions. That's what I don't like doing interviews. I love doing this job. This is great. I love standing here talking to you, though. But doing interviews, it's a necessary evil. It's part of the job. I having to answer questions. And I don't even like watching interviews. You'd rather watch a comedian tell jokes than talk about how they wrote them. You'd rather watch a singer sing songs than talk about their inspiration. You'd rather watch a sports person do their sport. You'd certainly rather watch a sports person do their sport. Come on now. Sports interviews can be turgid affairs at best. And then I hit it with my foot. You mean you kicked it? If you like. They're rarely interesting. They're rarely, and I'm not slagging sports people. It takes a great deal of single-mindedness to excel at a sport to a point where people want to interview you about it. But sports people are famous because they're good at sport, not because they're good at talking about sport. That's why you find a sports person who is good at talking about sport, the BBC will cream their knickers over them. We found a woman. She used to ride horses. That's a sport. And she's quite lively and engaging and charismatic. Put her on absolutely everything! Do not let her out of your sight. Even people I'm a fan of. Andy Murray. I love Andy Murray. Britain should be very proud of Andy Murray. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's an Olympic gold medalist. And he put up with a lot of shit when he was, 8th best in the world? Oh, you bloody loser, you. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon, he's Olympic gold medalist, he's magnanimous in victory, he's humble in defeat. And he's a big comedy fan. He's been to see me live, I've met him, lovely bloke. But Jesus Christ. I cannot listen to him drone on one more time about how he won, stroke lost another tennis match. I can't do it. Well, then I hit it to him, and he hit it back to me, and I'm very good at tennis, but he is also very good at tennis.
Some days I'm better at tennis than he is, but I think what's happened today was he was slightly better at tennis than I am, and that's maybe why he won the game of the...
Oh, for God's sake, man. I'm not very sporty, you can probably tell. I like hill walking. Doesn't really count as a sport. I like hill walking and camping. Proper camping, though. None of your glamping bullshit. Glamping. Derivation of the words glamorous and camping, where you stay in a yurt, which is more expensive than a hotel. What is wrong with you? A lot of people don't realise yurt is a derivation of the words yura and twat. A lot of people don't realise that.
Do you love London? I love London. I feel like London is created by the people, right? Who are just crazy and sexy and ambitious. I got into an Uber the other day, not bragging, and I got into an Uber and the driver, he said, would you like to have the radio on? And I was like, I don't mind, it's up to you. And then he said, well, actually, I make my own music. Do you mind if I put some of that on? No, I don't. And then he put on Drake's new album. I wonder how often it works. I wonder how often there's a middle-aged white woman thinking, oh, well, he looks like Aladdin and he sounds like confidence personified. Pull over and jump in the back, Nikolai. I'm having a good life. I have recently started doing yoga, which is just change. Yes, woo for the yoga over there. Are you a team? I'm new to it. I love it. Yoga has changed my life. It's brilliant. Yoga is my new drug. My old drug was drugs. Which I'm not going to say anything positive about because it would be incredibly irresponsible. I'm not going to say anything positive about drug taking. What I will say is I didn't take MDMA until I was 32, and it was such a relief to know I could be happy. The equipment's broken. But yoga is nearly as good, and there's no downsides. It's given me a whole new language. My favourite new word is namaste. Yeah, it's a very old word, it's very sacred, and it means the yoga has finished now. And then you're allowed to leave. I think that the key to being happy as you get older is self-acceptance. Like, I have to accept things about myself now. Like, I'm 36, I thought I would have children by now, and I don't. In an ideal world, what I wanted to self-fertilise. I wanted to have children that were exactly my genetics so that I could show them to my parents and go, see, it was my childhood, they're fine. Science can't do that yet. And then I had a crazy day last month where I just thought, I'm just going to buy some sperm. I'm just going to buy some sperm off the internet. I've got a good job. I'm just going to buy some sperm. Guys, sperm is so much more expensive than I thought it was going to be. It is tens of thousands of pounds. We are all wasting a valuable resource. 17-year-old me would have been a millionaire if I'd learned how to catch it and chuck it in the freezer. It's a shock. I do think self-acceptance is the key. Like, there's things about myself I don't like, but I just have to accept now that they're not going to change. This is who I am. Like, so for instance, I don't like art. I think art is rubbish. I think lots of people think art is rubbish, but we're too worried of looking stupid, so we go along with it. I think that the worst art form is theatre. Right, okay, I can sense how unpopular this opinion is. Hear me out. I think theatre is diabolical. Look, I do, look, and also, I'm aware, if you're a performer of some kind, if you're an actor, look, please don't be offended. I don't mean being in the play. Obviously, if you're the person in the play that gets to put a wig on and walk up and down and move your arms and project your voice, saying things like, I think you'll find you're contradicting yourself, Alan. Fun. Having to watch it. Dear Christ. I can't concentrate. I can't lose myself in the story. I know that it's not real because I'm surrounded by people eating crisps. And they don't let you look at your phone. So all you're thinking is, well, how long has it been?
It's lovely to be here. I've come all the way from Brighton. Just in case you're wondering what this haircut is about. Might be a new face for some of you people. Don't panic. The BBC invited me here because they needed a beige lesbian. So I'm just here to tick some boxes. Not your box, madam. Just a metaphorical box. I'm half Spanish. That's what's happening there. I've got a Spanish mum, and she lives here in the UK. It's all very legal. She's lived longer in the UK than she's ever lived in Spain, but the brilliant thing about my mum is that she's never lost her accent. She talks very, very quickly. She lost words she cannot pronounce. Lost words she cannot pronounce, huh? My favourite word that my mum's never been able to pronounce is my brother's name. It's not even a difficult name. His name's Stephen. I don't know if you've noticed this. Spanish people, any word that begins with the letter S, they struggle, right? So my mum doesn't call him Stephen. She calls him Steven. What's his name, Mum? Steven. Is it? Isn't it just Stephen? Jennifer, I know his name is my son. It is Steven! You don't want to mess with my mum. She's not like British people here in this country. We can be quite passive-aggressive, can't we? She's just very aggressive woman. I don't know how my mum's never really coped in this country, and I think it's because, like a lot of Mediterranean people, she's quite loud, yeah? She's got one volume. It's like this. Hello! How are you? Whereas in this country, particularly if we're middle class, we tend to be low talkers, don't we? We don't like to raise our voices, do we? Why? Because we've got money. Can we just assume that if you are raising your voice, well, you're probably poor. Or worse, foreign. Great thing about having a Mediterranean mum is they feed you. Oh, my God. She's always feeding. That's her way of showing that she loves her children, is to feed us. You know, I can remember going around friends' houses, you know, like English mums. Go around an English mum's house and the conversation with mum's more like this. I think you've had enough. My mum will feed you till you puke. Anything can be going on in my life and my mum will relate it back to a meal that she's cooked. Do you know what I mean? Like, so good or bad, particularly if I'm depressed. If I phone up my mum and I've had a terrible day, yeah? I phone up my mum, conversation always goes like this. Oh, Jennifer, my God, I'm so sorry to hear that you're having a hard time right now. But you know what? Don't worry, okay? I made a soup. Come home. You sound hungry. I made chicken carne, made lamb tagine, made casserole, Jennifer. I made some tortillas, some paella, some curry, Jennifer. You love curry, maybe some meatballs, some pork ball, beef ball, aniseed ball, banana ball. You're a lesbian. You don't eat enough balls. Please, come home. Eat my balls.
There's other younger people in the room, right? You know what I mean. You have only ever known a time in your life when you're trying not to get pregnant or trying not to get somebody else pregnant. And I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but on both accounts, I fucking smashed it. I think it comes down to skill set at the end of the day, doesn't it? People are just good at different things. Some people are good at the violin. Some people are good at parallel parking. I was very good at taking the pill. Every day, every day, every day. Honestly, I used to think I was so good at taking the pill, I deserved a reward. Arguably, there was a reward. It was the reward of not having to watch Peppa Pig or cleaning up another human's shit. Tell you what I don't understand, right, is women who are on the pill and forget to take it. Don't get that. Because don't get me wrong, I forget things. I forget my keys, my wallet, the fact I'm married. Sure! But forgetting to take something that can prevent you from creating a human that could one day say, turn the machines off, is what she would have wanted. Going to remember that one, thank you. Obviously does happen though. Women forget to take the pill, they get knocked up. Happened to a girl I used to work with actually, when I used to work in an office, right? And we were chatting about it one day. She was so blasé. We're in the kitchen. She's just standing there rubbing her belly like, well, the thing is, I've just got really bad memory. I was thinking, that's funny, because every day without fail, you remember to steal my milk. Maybe if you'd strapped your packet of microgynon to my semi-skimmed... Stephen in accounts wouldn't be telling everyone how you trapped him. But I think the reason I was always very good at remembering to take the pill, because I've been on it for so long. I was on it since I was about 16. And the reason I started taking it was because I was going out with my first boyfriend, Kevin Sutherland. A boom, chicka, wow, wow. He was quite the catch. He had a Peugeot 106 and a tattoo of Bart Simpson, which I thought showed a great joie de vivre. And things were going very well between Kevin and I. We had matching bracelets from Argos, so you can tell how serious we were. And we'd agreed that we were going to do it for the first time, right? So I was like, right, I'll put myself on the pill because my first time is going to be really special. My first time is going to be just like in the movies. So the big day arrived, and Kevin, bless him, he made such an effort for everything to be really perfect. Like, he paid his little brother to leave the room. To this day, the most romantic thing a man has ever done for me. And he made a mix CD of all of our favourite romantic songs. You know, like Boom, 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 Let Me Hear You Say Wayo. And as we lay down on his single bed, with his Liverpool FC duvet cover on it, the scent of Lynx Africa heavy in the air. And as Kevin took my virginity so beautifully, and gently, and quickly, from behind, I remember thinking, wow, just like in the movies. Obviously, it's quite difficult to make eye contact in that position, isn't it? Almost felt like I lost my virginity to Stephen Gerrard. I'll never walk alone. I never will.
And this is what I'm talking about, the assumption that if you're in a place like that, you obviously are the help. Okay, example 2, that's it, white people. One more example, and then we're moving on, right? I'm on tour in the UK. I'm going up to Leeds. All my team was already up in Leeds setting up the theatre. I'm travelling with my tour manager and best friend, Lila, also a black woman. So I go, you know what? That's Lila. I go, you know what, Lila? Let's not drive. It's a long drive. Let's get a train and go up in comfort. So we rush down to the train station. I buy us 2 first-class tickets. There's a train leaving, so we jump on the train. Train takes off. And we're walking through the train towards the first-class carriage. We walk into the first-class carriage. This white woman is sitting at a table. She looks up, she sees us, and at the top of her voice, she shouts, this is first class! Now Lila goes, what the fuck did you say? And I hold Lila, no, Lila, no. I just grab her by her collar, no, Lila, no. No, Lila, no, Lila, no. Watch me humiliate this bitch just with my mouth. Come back. So at the top of my voice, I say, thank you, lady. But what was it about us that made you assume that we didn't belong in the first-class carriage? She starts to fumble. Everybody on the train just kind of leans out from behind their seats. And she gets flustered. She's like, and then all she could think of was like, I thought you were lost. And I was like, how'd you get lost on a moving train going in one direction, bitch? How? Now, this woman was not alone. She was with her husband. Her husband was sitting opposite her at the table, same table. But we did not see her husband's face for this entire confrontation because the entire time he was hidden behind the newspaper, just... his hands never came down. All we saw were his knuckles just gripping that paper. And they were in their 60s. So they'd obviously been married a long time, and he's behind that newspaper going, ah! Nosy, big-mouth cow! 30 years we've been married, and every day of those 30 years I've said, mind your own fucking business! And now we're both gonna get beaten up by these two black boys.
My wife and I have decided we don't want children. If anybody does, we can drop them off tomorrow. The fat one has asthma. Is that even good? No, we have a beautiful old girl who we named after my mom. In fact, passive-aggressive psycho turns 5 tomorrow. Hey, should lesbians be allowed to use dildos? They made their choice. I am happily married, that's why I'm wearing the ring. Ooh. Oh, it must have fallen off in that hooker's ass. What am I like? Anybody that's married knows what I'm talking about when I say this, that you really find out about someone after you marry them. Like, for example, my wife doesn't have a peanut allergy. No, it turns out she has a penis. That's it, she has a penis. My father was a man of few words. I remember he used to say to me, son, get your trunks, we're going to the library. I was addicted to rolling around in pig shit. I've been clean for 2 years now. No, I seldom do drugs. I've only done ketamine. My doctor thinks I'm taking hallucinogenic drugs. How do I know? Let's just say Little Bird told me. My therapist says I have a preoccupation with vengeance. We'll see about that. Another therapist says that I have an overactive imagination, or something to that effect. I was distracted by the tap-dancing chipmunks on his water cooler. Yes, doctor. I understand, doctor.
T for two, for two, for tea, me, for you, and you, for me.
OMG, that is so cute. Do another song, would ya?
Okay. Me and my shadow strolling down the avenue.
I was called immature today by my smelly wife. So I spit on her. And now I'm
Lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody for my own.
3 of you recognized it. That was a tough note. Some of you are looking at me thinking, is this shit funny in Canada? No, it's not. That's why I'm here. Receiving oral sex from an ugly person is like rock climbing. You should never look down. Sir? You guys have been amazing. Thank you very much, everyone.
Don't you think it's crazy that... Do you understand the technology for us to hear the pilot? I am actually utilizing it right now. This is the technology for us to hear the pilot. I don't know why we cannot hear. There's no other context where it's acceptable for us not to hear a person. Why are you muffling? If you were looking for an au pair for your kids and a person came over to your house and said, hey man, what's your experience with kids? And then they looked at you and went, ta-da. Like, you need to get out of my house, son. Weird things happen in airplanes. Weird things, like crazy things, bizarre things. Like, how bizarre would it be right now if someone walked in here and started selling us watches and perfume? Would that be the most bizarre thing? But it happens all the time in airplanes. No one's ever gone, huh, this is crazy. This is that English polite thing. Oh, I've already got one, yeah. I'm not looking at the moment, yeah. Not every airline should be selling watches, though. Like Ryanair, no business selling watches. You need the watch, Ryanair. Your flight's 7 hours late. And also, why am I buying a 400-pound watch on an 11-pound flight? This makes no sense. Yeah, being in London is cool. I like being in London. One of my favorite things to be in London, there's so much to do. I try to buy a ticket online to watch Wimbledon. Yeah, man. The Wimbledon final, I was like, I'm excited. Went online, it was 3,000 pounds. I was like, what? 3,000 pounds. Okay, I'm not saying I wouldn't pay 3,000 pounds, right? I'm not saying I won't pay 3,000 pounds for a Champions League finals ticket. But I'm not paying 3,000 pounds for a sport where someone is going to tell me, quiet, please. Are you out of your mind? For 3,000 pounds, there will be no quiet, please. For 3,000 pounds, I'm rubbing my nipples center court. Are you out of your mind? My brother, 3,000. Oh, it's a lot of money. 3,000. My brother, 3,000 pounds. For 3,000 pounds, I should be able to whisper some advice in Roger Federer's ear. 3,000. I should be able to walk into the court. Sorry, Roger. Come on, forearm. Let's work on that. Come on. My brother, around 3,000. For 3,000, I should be able to punch a ball boy in the face. For 3,000. Could be walking across, picking up a ball up. Uppercut him in the nose. He'll be so confused. What was that for? I'm like, no, it's part of the package. If you look carefully, I can kick you in the balls.
One of the major good things that's come out of it is how we've embraced new technology. Isn't it? Because it's just unbelievable. Who knew what Zoom was 2 years ago? None of us. Like last week, I had to do a speed awareness course online. Now, you should be doing that on something called Zoom, but that's the world we're in now. It's the world we're in. I've got a phone that can recognise my face. That already makes it better than my nan. Come on! I embrace new technology. I do, because could you imagine if this pandemic had happened like 30 years ago? No internet, no Zoom, no Pornhub. I don't know why I looked at you, sir, but I did. Because I think we've forgotten, here in 2021, we've forgotten what really being bored feels like. Like proper bored. My friend's little boy said the other day he gets bored waiting for an app to load. Fuck off, mate. That is not boredom, is it? I'm talking Sunday afternoon in the 80s. That was boredom. When it was raining, you'd read every book in the house. I grew up in Maidstone. That's a Mills and Boon and an Argos catalogue. Your mum's watching something black and white on the only telly in the house, so you listen to your Walkman for a bit, but the batteries are dying, so Madonna's Like a Virgin sounds like Barry White singing it. You can't go and buy more batteries, can you? You can't, because all the shops are shut. And I mean, all the shops are shut, even the petrol stations are shut, and then when you think your day can't get any more tedious, your dad would go, get in the car, everyone, we're going to go and visit someone. That's what we do, isn't it? On a Sunday afternoon in the 80s, we would visit people for no reason other than to ruin their day. Do you know what? Young people don't believe this when you tell them. We never told them we were coming. Could you imagine doing that to someone today? They'd be livid, wouldn't they? We used to spend every Sunday with people wishing that they'd hoovered and we'd fuck off, didn't we? I'm right, aren't I? The only people who phoned ahead in the 1980s were the IRA. Fact. I wouldn't be a teenager now, though, would you? I wouldn't be a teenager now. When I think of the things I did when I was a teenager, the thought of that being on the internet forever makes me feel physically sick. It does. The way they have to communicate with each other is something I just can't understand. You know, sexting. I couldn't write a sext. I don't know what to put in a birthday card. When I was a teenager, if I wanted to leave a sexy message for a boy, I'd have to ring his landline and leave a message with his mum. You want to what, dear? All over your what? Different times, isn't it? Different times. There was a boy I fancied at school. I couldn't text him to write him a note, stick it in his school bag. And I'd make him a mixtape. Write him a poem. That's all we had, didn't we? I genuinely think a 14-year-old girl today, she would be more freaked out if you sent her a poem than if you sent her a picture of your knob. A poem would freak her out more. She'd be with her friends going, I mean, it was like a song, but it wasn't a song. And there was no cock in it. Not even a bollock, no. Different times, you know. Apparently, young people today, they are most likely now to have their very first sexual experience online. Via FaceTime or Skype. They're not even in the same room. You've got one teenager in this house on their phone and the other teenager in this house on their phone, and that's how they're having their first sexual experience. And I just think, do you know what? Getting fingered behind a caravan at a fairground is not ideal. But at least I was getting some fresh air.
I don't know how my mum coped with 4 children. I can't cope with 2. And it was hard in lockdown, wasn't it? It was hard. And I think, and to know what to do with your children half the time. People got really upset when the playgrounds got closed. Not me. I was delighted. I hate playgrounds. Have you been to a playground? And if you don't have kids, what are you doing at a playground, mate? It's weird. You might not know this if you don't have children, but there is nothing for you to do there. And they know that grown-ups are there, they know that adults are there, but there's nothing for you to do there. And you're not just there for a couple of hours, you're there for days, weeks, months. You're there for years of your life, and you're bored out of your bloody brain, just thinking, Jesus Christ, has time stood still? You think they'd create some sort of makeshift shed where they're selling neat gin, but there's nothing to distract you from the tedium of being in a playground. And for the first 2 years of your children's lives, you have to follow them around these places because you don't want them to die. So you're like, Danny, please be careful on the apparatus, on the climbing. Mama's here, Mama will catch you. But you know what? My children are 6 now, nearly 7. You think, great, you can just piss off! Piss off! And leave me alone to my thoughts! They don't, do they? They don't, because somehow we've created 2 little narcissists. So it's not enough that they're up a slide if I'm not fucking watching them! All you can hear in the playground is this, look at me, 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 Mama, you look at me, 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 Mama, I'm gonna get on the slide, I'm gonna get on the slide, will you watch me get on the slide? Mama's gonna watch you get on that slide, darling. Oh, well done. Really well done, darling. That was absolutely wonderful. Mama, I'm going to get on the slide again. I'm going to get on the slide. Will you watch watch me go down. I'm watching you go down that slide, darling. You're going to go down the slide again. You're not watching me. I am. I'm totally watching. You're going to go down the slide again. Watch me go down. I'm going to watch you go down the slide. Oh, twice in a row. How did you do that? What an achievement. Absolutely incredible, Dan. Mama, you're going to go down the slide again and go down the slide again. Watch me go down the slide. Mama, you're going to watch me go down the slide. I'm going to go down the slide again. Watch me. I tell you what Mama's going to do.
I was filming the traffic, and before I knew it, I was surrounded by area boys. These are the local gangsters in Lagos. Give me your camera, we will kill you, you cannot film us. Give us the camera, give us the camera. And I was like, guy, boy, I'm from Hackney, get out of here. That's right, don't mess with me. I kept my camera. Well, they got the camera, I got the tape, but I got the tape. Nigeria, it's a hustle to live there. It's a hard place to live. Like, you commit a murder in Nigeria, you will get away with it. You will. And I'll tell you why, because we ain't got no CSI in Nigeria. The police turn up at a crime scene and they're like that. Okay, there's a dead body. There's a dead body. Somebody has been killed. Did you do it? No? Oh, shit. We will never catch the killer. But it's not Nigeria, it's not just Nigeria. I've been all over the world, I've experienced different things, you know. I went to the Caribbean, went to Jamaica. Any Jamaicans in? I went to Jamaica, I was over there. And I was over there with my friend, and my friend's great-grandfather died while we were there. And we went to the funeral home to pick up the body. And as I said, it's a hustle to live out there. There was a guy outside the funeral home trying to sell us stuff as we went in. He came up to us like that. Psst, psst, come here. You want to buy a cheaper coffin? Go inside, get the body, bring it in the alley out the back. I'll meet you on the other side. That wasn't the worst of it, people. That wasn't the worst of it. We went in to pick up the body, and none of the bodies were labelled. I will repeat that. None of the bodies were labelled. We're like that. We're here to pick up Mr. Spencer. And the guy was like that. Right, Mr. Spencer. Mr. Spencer. Which one looks like a Mr. Spencer? You're going to have to look yourself. Come and have a look yourself. Come. Open the coffin. Is that Mr. Spencer? That's not Mr. Spencer? No? All right, then come. What about this one? Is this one Mr. Spencer? Look inside, man. I know it doesn't have any face, but do you recognize the flip flop? No, that's not Mr. Spencer. All right, come. What about this one? Look inside, man. Look inside. Is that Mr. Spencer? What are you crying for? That's not Mr. Spencer. What are you crying for? Is that Mr. Spencer? No. Is that Mr. Spencer? No. Is that Mr. Spencer? No. What about this one? No. What about this one? No. Well, after about 20 bodies like that, forget it. Give me that one. Trying to explain it to the kids at the funeral. Yes, Johnny, sometimes when the body decomposes, it does turn into a white woman. Yeah, sometimes.
I think we've got a problem. I think we're using the word Muslim far too quickly. Head. It's a political rally now, don't worry. There'll be levels of knobhead. I think she's despicable. No, I don't have a problem with Muslims in Birmingham at all. Happy to have them. I think they add to our city and to our culture. I think the big problem we have in Birmingham, it's happening around the country, actually. We have a lot of artisan coffee shops. You know the sort of places I'm on about, like Shoreditch is full of them, kind of like distressed wood, that kind of thing. And they serve flat whites, and they'll say things like, we support local artists. And you know that because the art on the wall is shit. Dozens of Birmingham, they're all shit. Oh, no, there's one I quite like. I can't say the name for legal reasons. They do an avocado and feta smash. Very aggressive word, I feel. What is essentially pressing with a fork. Avocado and feta smash. And for £1, £1.50 extra, you can get a poached egg on top. It's a lovely way to start. And I said, why is that? And she went, the kitchen was struggling to cope. When I hear the phrase, struggling to cope, I think of, I don't know, a single mother trying to juggle a career, childcare, heartbreak. I don't think of someone cooking a fucking egg. So I'm boycotting them now, boycotting them. Oh, we've got a 24-hour Starbucks as well. Nobody asked for one. We've got one. The staff at 4 a.m. Genetically close.
My wife and I have decided we don't want children. If anybody does, we can drop them off tomorrow. The fat one has asthma. Is that even good? No, we have a beautiful old girl who we named after my mom. In fact, passive-aggressive psycho turns 5 tomorrow. Hey, should lesbians be allowed to use dildos? They made their choice. I am happily married, that's why I'm wearing the ring. Ooh. Oh, it must have fallen off in that hooker's ass. What am I like? Anybody that's married knows what I'm talking about when I say this, that you really find out about someone after you marry them. Like, for example, my wife doesn't have a peanut allergy. No, it turns out she has a penis. That's it, she has a penis. My father was a man of few words. I remember he used to say to me, son, get your trunks, we're going to the library. I was addicted to rolling around in pig shit. I've been clean for 2 years now. No, I seldom do drugs. I've only done ketamine. My doctor thinks I'm taking hallucinogenic drugs. How do I know? Let's just say Little Bird told me. My therapist says I have a preoccupation with vengeance. We'll see about that. Another therapist says that I have an overactive imagination, or something to that effect. I was distracted by the tap-dancing chipmunks on his water cooler. Yes, doctor. I understand, doctor.
T for 2, a T for T, me for you, and you for me.
OMG, that is so cute. Do another song, would ya?
Okay. Me and my shadow strolling down the Scoop, scoop, scoopy dee 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 dee.
I was called immature today by my smelly wife. So I spit on her. And now I'm
Lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody for my own.
3 three of you recognized it. That was a tough note. Some of you are looking at me thinking, is this shit funny in Canada? No, it's not. That's why I'm here. Receiving oral sex from an ugly person is like rock climbing. You should never look down. Sir?
I've got the memory of an elephant. I remember one time I went to the zoo and saw an elephant. I was disappointed to find that Dunkirk wasn't actually a biography of William Shatner. I accidentally kicked my dog early and it bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said, no, if anything, it's even more angry. I tell you what always catches my eye, short people with umbrellas. I put on a lot of weight, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency, can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can, we got loads of them. I was actually thrown out of Weight Watchers for making sarcastic comments at the weekly weigh-in. As you can imagine, I accepted the decision with huge grace, because they threw her out as well. I was watching TV, the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it. I was in a fancy lingerie shop. I said, are these knickers satin? He said, no, they're new. I didn't know what to get my little niece for Christmas, so I asked my sister what she's into. Apparently at the moment she's mad about frozen stuff, so I got her some oven chips and peas. It's been a tough week. I got myself a memory foam mattress and now it's trying to blackmail me. As a child, I was made to walk the plank. We couldn't afford a dog. I went on a positive thinking course. It was shit. You would be. And it was half empty. The area in a Nando's between the front and back door is called the peri-perineum. What I like most about that joke is that people who know what a perineum is usually haven't heard of Nando's. Ironically, there's only a very small overlap between the two. The doctor told me to lose some weight. I said, how? He said, don't eat anything fatty. I said, what, pies, chips, that sort of thing? He said, no, just don't eat anything fatty. Old lady names are very much back in fashion at the minute, like Lily or Elsie or Rose, and we wanted something like that for our daughter, but we couldn't decide, so in the end we just called her Nan. So we shall grow into it.
Tell me, does anyone here own a cat? Yeah. Your houses stink. Someone's got to tell them. Some people like cats, some people don't. I was reading the other day, apparently the Pope, he's a cataholic. Catholic. had an interesting job recently. I pretended to be a Spanish dentist. Thanks, that doesn't normally work. They said about me that I was too immature to be a father, but when I saw the first few seconds of my son's life, I thought to myself, he's naked. When my daughter was born, she had jaundice, so there she was, small, round, and yellow. We called her Melanie. My parents came up last weekend because I keep them in the cellar. That's not true. I don't know who they are. See, when I was young, I used to walk through the front door. I was hit by roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, open the airing cupboard, spaghetti bolognese all over me. We literally didn't know where the next meal was coming from. My grandparents, their names are Pearl and Dean. Of course, we just know them as Gran and Grandpapa, Papa, 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 Papa. Any students here? Your houses stink. Someone's got to tell them. Don't talk to me about unemployment. I come from a tiny fishing village in Derbyshire. I work... It's not near the sea.
When the... So this bloke said to me, he said, Tim, he said, did you know Marie Osmond is about to appear in the world's worst film? I said, Warner Brothers. He said, I already have. So I went to the record shop. I said, what have you got by the doors? He said, a bucket of sand and a fire blanket. I said, can you recommend some music for a kid's party? He said, Small Faces. I said, of course they have, the kids. My mum and dad are complete opposites. You couldn't hope to meet two such totally different blokes. My local police chief does a talk on heroin, so you can't understand any of it. Tequila, schnapps, sambuca. I'm calling the shots. So I went to Alcoholics Anonymous. I said, I can't stop gambling. He said, you want Gamblers Anonymous? I said, you're probably right, I'm so drunk, I know where I am. I saw this sign, it said hairdressing for men. I walked in, there was a rabbit trying on clothes, and all these blokes going, yeah, very nice. So I went to the cinema, I saw a very sad film, and the bloke behind me suddenly started wailing. I got hit in the back of the head with the harpoon. But you know, I love reading. At the moment, I'm reading My Life by Bill Clinton, which freaked me out because I didn't know he knew anything about my life. And this bloke said to me, he said, I've got bubonic plague. I said, don't give me that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you with this. Well, I didn't bring it with me. Today I had dinner with my boss and his wife, and it was a complete disaster. My boss's wife said to me, she said, Tim, how many potatoes would you like? I said, I'll just have one. She says, all right, you don't have to be polite. I said, all right then, I'll just have one, you stupid cow.
I don't know how you guys got here tonight. I squatted down, put my head between my knees, and fell forward. That's how I roll. My ex-girlfriend said we can work on my bladder problem together. I said, there is no we. Now piss off. Uncle just set a new world record by getting 27 pigeons to land on him. What a ledge. They should make a statue of that man. You'd like that. Does my wife think I'm a control freak? I haven't decided yet. She used to hate that joke. And now she loves it. The other night at a party, my wife got drunk and told everyone she invented the echo. I said, listen to yourself. Fat people block the pavement. There's no getting around it. Ever take a shit so big you needed a midwife? Me too. Unfortunately, the blueprint to my honey farm was destroyed. I have no plan B. In some circles, I'm considered the inventor of the hula hoop. People who reinforce their own country's negative stereotypes. What's that all about? Hey? Gets me so angry I want to just throw down my jar of maple syrup and crawl out of my igloo, pick up my ice hockey stick and club a seal. Or a moose. Or Justin Bieber. You're welcome. Canada has the fewest number of pretentious people to speak Latin than anywhere else in the world, per capita. I'm talking Saskatchewan, Manitoba, etc., etc. Vis-a-vis New Brunswick. Spartacus. I don't think Spartacus is Latin, but it gets me a couple of laughs, and that's why I'm here. People say I have the legs of a dancer, but until they find the rest of the body, the cops got nothing on me, man. Someone recently called me a shameless self-promoter. Me, Stuart Francis. .com. I've been described as being dismissive and having a limited vocabulary. Women. People say I'm a plagiarist. Their word, not mine. I've been called irritating, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, not 6 times, not 7 times, not 8 times, not 9 times, not even 10 times, not 11 times, not 12 times, not 13 times, and finally, not 14 times, not 15 times, not 16 times, but a grand total of 17 times, not 18 times.
We've got people from Holby, haven't we? We've got Hugh Quashie. Where's Hugh? Hugh, how you doing? You're a fantastic actor. You've been in RSC and everything. You've been in Holby for a long time, right? So I have a theory that if someone had a heart attack over here, we could whisk you over and just suck all of the drama out of the situation. We had the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow this year. A great choice of venue. A place where people think that hepatitis B is a vitamin. I don't really trust these big sporting occasions, you know. The Olympics, a lot of that stuff is just for rich people. Dressage, yachting. I don't remember that at school. Yachting tomorrow, class, so remember, bring in your boats. A lot of people found the Paralympics inspiring. I just found it depressing. I can't throw a discus and I've got arms. Oscar Pistorius. Pistorius to me sounds like a spell that Harry Potter would say to make your legs drop off. When he gets out of jail, his next girlfriend is going to get ready in a hurry. I thought you were running a bath. No, I just threw some dungarees on. Let's go. I hope a jail bully steals his legs, walks about being 9'6". I don't like the Commonwealth, because the Commonwealth is the old British Empire. It's called the Commonwealth because Britain stole all those countries' wealth and then went, come on. The whole empire was founded on cocaine. Everybody was on cocaine. The remedies had cocaine in them. Queen Victoria was on cocaine. And not the shit you take. You've never done a line and gone, let's invade India. We had the referendum up in Scotland that was won by the No campaign and Alistair Darling. I thought it'd be good if when he won, Alistair Darling's eyebrows had finally turned into butterflies. And he wasn't even able to look surprised about it. David Beckham sent the people of Scotland an open letter. An open letter because he couldn't work out how to get it into the envelope. People said during the campaign that I was anti-English. I couldn't be more pro-English. I thought the best thing for independence would have been if England had won the World Cup. Because you would have been so unbearable that we would have to leave. Whatever happens next, I think it's important that Scotland does something that puts England on the back foot, something that England won't expect. And the last thing that you're expecting is for us to form an Islamic caliphate. Ah yes, independent Scotland, we can do this.
Incredible to think, isn't it? But the Chinese language started off as English in England. Then one person whispered it to another person. Bit of a weird day today. I found a hole in the back of my wardrobe. I went through to a strange and mysterious land where my neighbor was sitting in the bath. What else can I tell you about myself? I like my tea, like my women. Big, black, and with a penguin. Obviously, I'm Caucasian. Yes, my mum's from a city in Ireland and my dad's Japanese. Couldn't sleep last night. I was too hot. Then the smoke alarm went off. Put it on snooze. Then the phone went off. Picked it up, a voice said, "Can you speak?" I said, "How did you think this conversation was going to work?" And I recognized the voice of my mother, the very woman who taught me to speak in the first place. She said, "Listen, it's your dad." I said, "That is the worst impression." Do you ever have a conversation with someone and towards the end they say, "Well, I'll let you go"? You think, "Yeah, thanks." "Oh, I see what you're saying. You're trying to make me think that you think that I've got better things to do." In reality, you're saying that you've got better things to do. Well, next time someone says to you, "I'll let you go," say, "No." Shut the door. If they make a sudden dive for the window, grab them by their ankles. As they're dangling 4 stories over the car park, screaming, "This has all been a terrible mistake." Say, "Okay, I'll let you go." So it turns out, not all horses are Trojan horses. I know that now. That was a messy afternoon. Health and safety, that's a minefield, isn't it? Don't tell them. I used to work in IKEA. selling over 7,000 different items. Give me a number between 1 and 7,000, I'll tell you about it. 8. Sorry, out of stock. Well, it's not easy traveling around all the time, being on the road. Oh, no. The AA, RAC, green flag. Don't get me started.
You were excited about the release of Windows 7, weren't you? You're not normal, are you, Will? That's what it boils down to. And you worry me, and I'll tell you why. Yeah? Yeah? I mean, you're a nice lad. But what you're forgetting, and that everyone else here has remembered tonight, is that today is tomorrow's history, isn't it? Yeah? Think about it. Today is tomorrow's history. And yeah, history's written by the winners, Will. Yeah? French history books, of course, are blank from cover to cover. The point is... Yeah, and I'm worried, what if the world ended right now, ladies and gentlemen? What if the world ended right now? And it could happen. The ice caps could melt, we'd all be drowned, couldn't we, yeah? And someone could leave the taps on, we could all be drowned. The greenhouse effect could take effect, couldn't it? And the world would be plagued by a plague of tiny green unripe tomatoes. Yeah, it could happen. Yeah? All the Chinese, all of them, Chinese, all at once, all of the Chinese, all of them could jump up and down, like that. And crack the Earth's crust. It could happen, Will. The thing with you, Will, is I'm worried. What if the archaeologists of the future, in a million years' time, you know what archaeologists are like, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah? They dig a hole, they find one leather shoe, and then they can paint a picture of an entire bloody city based on the strength of that one leather shoe. What if, in a million years' time, they find you, Will, the sole surviving remnant of all human civilization? Yeah? They're going to think we're a bunch of wankers. It's not personal. It's for the sake of everyone else, my friends. If in a million years' time they find you at the bottom, they find an asthma inhaler, a tub of E45 cream, a book of blank verse, some subtitled French films, and the manual for Windows 7. And they look at you and they look at us, and we will be judged. So, I'm offering you something, mate. What I want to do right now, for the sake of all mankind, is fix you. Right now, live on stage. Yeah? Up you come, Will. Round of applause for Will. Up you come, son. Come on, son. Of course you come, pal. Welcome. Welcome. Look at them all. It's Will, ladies and gentlemen. It's Will. Welcome. Yeah, you got any hobbies, Will?
I quite like tennis.
You quite like tennis?
Quite like tennis.
I've got a lot of work to do here, haven't I? You disgust me. Now,
It's a good game.
Shut up. Now, what we're going to do, it's dead simple. What we're going to do is we're going to do compare and contrast between me and you. Right? Normal and Will. Right?
Okay.
You up for this?
Yeah.
Okay, so put your hands out in front of yourself like that. Yeah, like that, so everyone can see them. Yeah? That's it. Yeah? Now look at my hands.
Yeah.
Now look at your hands. Yeah? Now look at my hands. Now look at your hands. Now look at my hands. Now look at your hands. Now, tell me, Will, what have I got that you ain't?
You've got 2 rings on.
No, it's not the rings. But what's happening there, mate, is I'm pointing at the moon and you're looking at my finger. Can't see the wood for the trees. What I've got that you haven't is class, isn't it?
How so?
No, look, I'll sort you out, pal. Here, put this on. Put that on.
It's too big.
Yeah, put it on.
Which finger?
Yeah, shut your face.
Which finger?
Put it on. That one, you donut. There you go. And the other one. There you go. Yeah, and now, here we go. Let's sort you out. Yeah, you got rubber bands on and stuff, haven't you? Hey, rubber bands. Yeah, to show how much money you're giving to charity. You arsehole. Hey, shut. Yeah. We're nearly there. Let's see it. Nearly. One last touch for you, Will. 1 second. Here we go, pal. How about this? Yeah. Put this on. There we go. Yeah, pop that on. Yeah. Calm yourself down, Kerry. There we go. Fantastic. Now take a look. You feel better. It looks better, doesn't it, Jammin? Yeah.
You know toe rings? They are rings that we wear on our toes. Then we have rings, earrings, rings people wear in their ears, yeah? Eyebrow rings, nose rings, belly button rings. But these ones, rings. Because if these ones were called finger rings, make weddings pretty awkward. With this fingering, make proposal stories really awkward. Oh my God, so last night, John came over and out of nowhere just gave me the most incredible fingering. I know! I'm so happy. I mean, he asked my dad's permission first, obviously. And my dad was like, you go for it, son, you give her that fingering. And he came over, and he put down on one knee, and he said, darling, I want to give you this fingering. It's the same fingering that my grandfather gave to my grandmother. Also make Lord of the Fingerings, very different film. Okay. There is no one hearing that. Just keep learning. Life's about learning, guys. I will share with you another big thing I learned this year. Very exciting. I learned showering with a partner is not sexy. That does not seem like a big deal, but the world tells you it is sexy. But you try that shit once, and you very quickly discover that showering with a partner is not sexy. Showering with a partner is taking turns being cold. Oh, yeah. A lot of do-si-do action, a lot of, let's move around this way. Ooh, why? Because I'm goddamn freezing. I'm freezing. And a lot of kissing like this. But mainly, as I get older, I just keep finding out shit that I'm wrong about. Like, you grow up and you go, I know these things, I'm sure, and then wrong. The last time I was in your lovely country, I was on one of your lovely overland trains. You know, the ones that have the toilets with the electronic science fiction doors that go whoosh, whoosh. Now, I was sure I knew how to lock those. Nah, turns out I know how to shut them, yeah. And 12-year-old boys on the other side know how to push the open button. And I don't know if you've ever been sat on the toilet when the door opens, but look, it's everything you dream it will be. And a little bit more. Now, the thing with those doors is they take quite a long time to open. So I was desperately trying to find the close button, eventually found the close button, but the thing is, as they take quite a long time to open, similarly, take quite a long time to close. So I got to maintain eye contact with an understandably horrified 12-year-old boy as his face was being very slowly covered. It was kind of like this. And it finally shut. I sat back down and went, oh my God, I am never wearing a jumpsuit again.
I have a theory that masturbation is a kind of summoning spell for your own rational mind. Because we're all so driven by hormones and by desire. Sometimes you've got to have a wank to speak to your real self. You have a wank, you go, I should have shagged my ex one last time, I'll text her, I'll meet her, I'll shag her. And then you come and a little voice comes on in your head that goes, yeah, don't do that, mate. You've got to be careful with jokes, haven't you? Because not everybody's got a sense of humour. I can remember when I first realised not everybody's got a sense of humour. I was 13, I was at school and we were doing a class on stereotypes. The teacher was a really good guy. He's just talking about how stupid stereotypes are. And he was talking about a stereotype that day that's so old-fashioned and so Scottish that you definitely won't have heard it. Have you ever heard the stereotype that deaf people are really strong? That was a genuine thing when I was growing up. Deaf people, particularly deaf and dumb people, were believed to be really strong. And the teacher said, think how stupid that is. Have you ever seen a deaf contender for the heavyweight championship of the world? And me, aged 13, I put my hand up and I went, there was one, sir, but he was disqualified for punching after the bell. And nobody laughed. And I knew right then that life was going to feel pretty long. You've got to have a bit of leeway with jokes, haven't you? I can't write jokes for the average person, can I? The average person is Chinese. So I'm from Glasgow, a city where people think that hepatitis B is a fucking vitamin. To explain Glasgow's attitude to you, this happened to me recently. I was having a wee snooze in a park, because my career's been going really well lately. I was having a wee doze under a tree, and a guy came up to me and he went, "Do you know your problem? You're fucking unapproachable." Glasgow's like an entirely negative city. I went to a coffee shop one time. Two middle-aged women sat across from me, and they started to moan as they sat down about how long they thought the coffee was going to take. So nothing had happened, and they were both angry. And the coffee turned up, and the first one takes a sip and goes, "That's not very good, is it?" And the second one takes a sip of hers and goes, "I don't even like coffee." I think English people don't really understand Scottish attitudes. You think that we all just want to see the English football team get beaten, but actually a lot of us would much rather see the team plane crash into an oil refinery. I enjoyed reading about Sam Allardyce. I didn't realise English football had a corruption problem. I thought the only problems in English football were racism, sexism, homophobia, match-fixing, gambling, sexual assaults and the failure to perform at major tournaments.
We use Facebook and Twitter for rubbish. You ever seen those sanctimonious little poems and quotes people put on Facebook to make you feel better about life? They drive me mad. I've got one here. Honestly, I've got two. I printed out. This first one is always put on by women, by the way. I'm not being sexist there, because I was sort of raised by women. I was. Can you tell? I never had that older brother figure who beat me up. I had two older sisters who dressed me up. No, I was raised by women. It sounds like I was raised by wolves, doesn't it? I was found running with a wild hen night in Newcastle. But this first quote, always put on by women. You will recognise it, some of you. Friends are angels who lift us to our feet when our wings have trouble remembering how to fly. Do you know what, us men, we may be emotionally constipated, but I'm damn proud we don't put shit like that on Facebook. This second quote, this one's put on by everybody. This is a long one. Lots of you will recognise this one. I've had this one about 4 times. Life is short. Break the rules. Forgive quickly. Kiss slowly. Love truly. Laugh uncontrollably. And never regret anything that made you smile. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did. So throw off the bow lines. Sail away from the safe harbour. Catch the trade winds in your sails. Explore. Dream. Discover. Do you know what? I've got a mortgage to pay, bills to deal with, kids to bring up. I don't have time for this crap on my Facebook page. Let's look at it in detail. Let's look at it. Life is short. No, it's not. Compared to most animals, we live a bloody long time. Do you know how hard it would be to train a dog if they ever realised how short their life was?
Why? Why? Why should I fetch the stick? What's the point? I've only got 13 years. Why? And they'd be off to travel the world and have adventures, wouldn't they? Flies buzzing about going 20 days. 20 bloody days. Even shit tastes good to us. The mayfly lives for 1 day. 1 day. Do you think other animals are really nice to the mayfly? Who are you? I'm a mayfly. I think you're really brave. I think they're all raising money to send them to Disneyland by 6 p.m. Do you think that's what's going on? So life is short. No, it's not. It's bloody long. Second one, break the rules. I hate people who say break the rules. I hate you. Rules are really, really important. What do you mean break? What, drive the wrong way up the M1? What do you mean? Serial killers break the rules, don't they? Yeah, he's killed 10, but he's really sticking it to the man. It's rubbish. Kiss slowly. Kiss slowly, yeah. What about your gran? It's just rubbish. We love this stuff. We love this sanctimonious stuff. It's rubbish. It's like the nation's favourite poem is If by Rudyard Kipling. You know, it's the one that you do all these things, and yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and what is more, you'll be a man, my son. And men go, great poem, and a tear down the face. It's rubbish.
And this is what I'm talking about, the assumption that if you're in a place like that, you obviously are the help. Okay, example 2, that's it, white people. One more example, and then we're moving on, right? I'm on tour in the UK. I'm going up to Leeds. All my team was already up in Leeds setting up the theatre. I'm travelling with my tour manager and best friend, Lila, also a black woman. So I go, you know what? That's Lila. I go, you know what, Lila? Let's not drive. It's a long drive. Let's get a train and go up in comfort. So we rush down to the train station. I buy us 2 first-class tickets. There's a train leaving, so we jump on the train. Train takes off. And we're walking through the train towards the first-class carriage. We walk into the first-class carriage. This white woman is sitting at a table. She looks up, she sees us, and at the top of her voice, she shouts, this is first class! Now Lila goes, what the fuck did you say? And I hold Lila, no, Lila, no. No, I just grab her by her collar. No, Lila, no. No, Lila. No, Lila, no. No. Watch me humiliate this bitch just with my mouth. Come back. So at the top of my voice, I say, thank you, lady. But what was it about us that made you assume that we didn't belong in the first-class carriage? She starts to fumble. Everybody on the train just kind of leans out from behind their seats. And she gets flustered. She's like... And then all she could think of was like, I thought you were lost. And I was like, how'd you get lost on a moving train going in one direction, bitch? How? Now, this woman was not alone. She was with her husband. Her husband was sitting opposite her at the table, same table. But we did not see her husband's face for this entire confrontation because the entire time he was hidden behind the newspaper, just... His hands never came down. All we saw were his knuckles just gripping that paper. And they were in their 60s. So they'd obviously been married a long time, and he's behind that newspaper going, ah! Nosy, big-mouth cow! 30 years we've been married, and every day of those 30 years I've said, mind your own fucking business! And now we're both gonna get beaten up by these two black boys.
My girlfriend said to me, "Have you been having sex behind my back?" I said, "Who the fucking hell do you think it was?" And another thing, it wouldn't kill you to look round once in a while, check how I'm doing. Well, I'm Jimmy Carr, and we've got Alan Carr on the show later on. How about that? I keep on getting mistaken for Alan Carr, so what I've done is I've stopped sucking men off. Don't get the wrong idea. You know, I'm a very gay-friendly act. I was asked last year to judge Mr. Gay UK. I said, no problem at all. He's against nature and against God, and he's going to hell. Right, who have we got in the audience this evening? We've got Nikki Hamilton-Jones is in. Hello. I've seen your show. Yours is the one where you get ladies naked and then they cry. We've all been there. For me, that's a very successful Friday night out. Have we got James Morrison? Is James Morrison in the house? Where's he? Can't believe it. Hello, James. How are you? An amazing musician, especially if you find James Blunt a bit rocky. You Give Me Something's an amazing song. You Give Me Something is my favourite song ever about chlamydia. My favourite. I love it. Dean Macy's here. Where's Dean Macy? Dean Macy? You're our hope for Beijing, aren't you, in the decathlon? I love the decathlon. You know, it's where you do 10 different things, isn't it? Sort of jack of all trades, master of none. If you don't mind me saying. The 2012 Olympics is going to cost £8 billion, which is, you know, a lot of money. It's probably going to bankrupt London, but you can't put a price on 2 bronze medals in cycling. Incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, the highest speed ever achieved on a bicycle was done by a British man, 166 miles per hour on a bike. It was recorded at a level crossing. £8 billion is a lot of money. I mean, for that kind of money, we could have another 3 weeks in Iraq. I don't have a stalker, but I do have a woman that sends me pants in the post. Thanks, Mum. People ask me how I relax, so I tell them. I put Smarties tubes onto cats' legs to make them walk like a robot. If I'm really stressed, I make them go down the stairs. It's adorable, they look so confused. I realise some of you will be worried about the cat. Don't worry about the cat. If it's hurt, if it breaks its leg, it's already got a splint on. I should warn you, don't kick off this evening. I'm middle class, but I'm hard. Al dente, you might say. If you got the al dente reference, you're middle class too. Well done. I've got quite a posh voice, though. Would you agree with that, Hammersmith? Yeah. It's quite a posh voice, but we've all got a phone voice. Mine's quite breathy. I quite like those phone sex lines. I like them because they're the only place in the world where premature ejaculation is an advantage. I once came in under 75 pence.
It's a Tuesday night. We've all got to stay over. Should we go for a drink? I said, James, I'd love to go for a drink with you. It'd be great. He said, good. I said, I normally play darts, but I'm up for going out. He said, brilliant. He said, because tonight, it's the Brits. Now, I'm in my 40s. I've been married 17 years. I wasn't really sure what the Brits was, to be honest. But in front of me new showbiz mates, I didn't want to look like a knobhead. So I went, all right, yeah, let's go and do some Brits. Yeah, I'm home. Always up to some Brits. We're always Britain it by us. Let's go and Brits it. Yeah, I'm up for the Brits. Let's go and Brits it. He said, fantastic. He said, I'll phone Robbie up. We'll go to his party. I said, great. If we're going to go to a party, let's stop at the off-licence on the way and get the ale in. He said, no, it's not that kind of party. It'll be in a nightclub. He said, do you know Robbie? And I went, I mean, I know some Robbies. He said, Robbie Williams. I went, oh, Bob! 10 minutes later, I'm sat in a car with James Corden and Freddie Flintoff going to the Robbie Williams Brits after-show party. It's one of those moments where you want to phone your mate and go, guess where I am? But you can't. I'm just trying to act all cool. I'm also in a car going to a nightclub. It's a long time since I've been to a nightclub. In my head, I'm worried about whether they're going to let me in jeans. The last nightclub I went to, I wore a thin leather tie. It's been a while. We come along in this car, we turn up at this nightclub in London. There's a cavalcade of cars. The bouncers come out and open the door. Bouncers aren't what bouncers used to be. Bouncers used to be different. When I was going to nightclubs, they used to wear dicky bows and look dead smart. They don't do that now. They have little bomber jackets with certificates on the sleeve, don't you? To show you they've got an MVQ in kicking your head in. We go to walk into this nightclub. There's a bank of photographers there. They all start shouting, James, Freddie. Start taking photographs. No one knows who the friggin' hell I am. But they're shouting, James, Freddie. So they stop. So I stopped. Goes into the nightclub. It was a bit loud, to be honest with you. It was a bit loud, and there was a lot of songs without words, a lot of boom, boom, boom. And I had a really good book that I was halfway through, so I didn't want to stay out late anyway. And also, Robbie wasn't there, which disappointed me immensely. I spent all night hoping to bump into Robbie Williams. I spent all night walking around with a bottle of beer in my hand in case I bumped into Robbie Williams, so I could say, oh, do us a favour, Robbie, take that. I know. Shit joke, but who else you going to do it with? So I spent all night doing that. Goes home, woke up the following morning, one of my mates phoned me up. He said, where were you last night? I said, look, I'm sorry I missed the dart. He said, where were you? I said, I was just working. He said, I know where you were. I said, what do you mean? He said, you were out in London, weren't you? I said, what do you mean? He said, get up, have a look on the Sky News website, have a look in the showbiz section, look at the Brits after-show party. I said, look, mate, I said, I don't want you to think I've become a champagne Charlie. I was just out with some lads from work. We were going to this thing. We had to stay over. He said, just get up and have a look, knobhead. I got out of bed. I looked on the Sky News website. I looked in the showbiz section. I looked at the Brits after-show party. There was 42 photographs. Photograph number 39 was a picture of me, James Corden, and Freddie Flintoff walking into the Robbie Williams party. The caption next to it said, an unlikely trio. It said James Corden and Freddie Flintoff arrived at the Robbie Williams after-show party with Bez from the Happy Mondays.
It's nice seeing people out, man. We've had a weird few years, innit? There's been a lot going on, the pandemic. You know, monkeypox, World War III, right? No, World War III scared me, you know. I was terrified when that Russian bloke came on TV, right? When he came on TV and he was like, World War III has begun, right? I lost it, right? I was so scared, right? Because I looked around at the men of my generation, right? And I was like, could we fight a war? Could the men of this generation fight a war, right? And I came to the conclusion, no, we are done for. We're finished, bruv, right? Not me, I'm a bad man, but some of you, like, do you know what I mean, right? No, we can't fight a war, brother. You mad? They will take half of us out with gluten. Like, do you know what I mean? Be real, man. They don't even need to drop bombs. They'll just drop blue top milk over the front lines, right? Just see all of us just shitting everywhere. Crying like, where's that gender neutral toilet? Shut up, it's a war, bro! It's good to see you lot out, man. That whole thing was scary, man. Do you know the scariest part of that thing? The mayor of London came on TV, right? And he was like, London is well placed in case of a nuclear attack. I was like, are you out of your goddamn mind? There's leaves on the track and we're done for. Forget a nuclear winter, we can't survive autumn, bruv, right? It's nice seeing you guys out, man. We've had a weird few years, man. Monkeypox is on the horizon, right? There's going to be no anti-vaxxers when it comes to that one, is there? Right? As soon as you see a massive pimple that big on your face, you're like, yeah, inject it, bruv. Do what you want, right? The thing with COVID, we had everything in it, right? Like, people were talking about the vaccine. Like, there was people on both sides that I didn't understand. Like, I don't care if you're vaccinated, just have a good reason, because I didn't get both sides of it. You know, you had pro-vaxxers and you had anti-vaxxers. Are there any anti-vaxxers in? They're louder on Facebook, innit? Like... No, you look... Those anti-vaxxers are loud on Facebook, innit? Like, Bill Gates, he's taking your soul. You lot are sheeple. All right, shut up, man. Right, I don't get the pro-vaxxers either. You know, like the way they're like, there's absolutely no reason not to get vaccinated. There's absolutely no reason. It's like, of course there is. There's reasons for some of the most horrendous things in the world, like listening to R. Kelly's music. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are reasons. What, you're going to tell me there's no reason to listen to R. Kelly's music? Are you mad? Right, what, you want me to never watch Space Jam again? Are you out of your mind, bruv, right? Listen, there's reasons to listen to R. Kelly's music. As much as you want to deny it, there's reasons, right? Say you're in a Squid Games type scenario, right? And the challenge is to play a song that a diverse audience is going to sing along to, yeah? I don't know about you lot, yeah, but I'm picking Ignition, innit? Right? Don't go home and say, I told you to listen to R. Kelly, by the way. He's a piece of shit. Don't listen to him, right? I don't care whether you're vaccinated or not, if I'm being honest, right? As long as you have a good reason, right? As long as you've got a good reason, I don't mind what you want to do with your life, man. It's your life. Do what you want, right? And I'll tell you what I mean, because I've got a lot of friends, man, like, that are, like, anti-vaxxers and stuff as well. Like, I was talking to a couple of my mates about it, right, when it was all going on, and I was like, bro, you're going to get vaccinated? He was like, no. I was like, why not? He's like, no. Come on, bro, man, that's not a reason, man. Just talk to me, man. Let me know. He's like, no, you're going to turn it into a joke. And to be honest with you... wonderful foresight on his behalf, right? Like...
I'll say a bit more about myself. I'm from the north of England. I had a very strange upbringing. My dad, he was very old-fashioned. When my sister had her menstrual cycle, he made her go and live in the shed, claiming that she was the evil seed of Satan. It's a little bit old-fashioned, isn't it? It was very sad. My sister died very young. She drowned. But, you know, like my dad said, look on the bright side. If she'd have floated, it would have had to set fire to her anyway, so... She was, My nan was great, though. She was great, my nan. I remember the last thing she said to me just before she died. She said, "What are you doing in here with that hammer?" Do you ever do that thing when you're a kid where you try and slip in swear words in front of your nan to try and impress your mate? How many swear words can we fit in without nan not noticing? I'll go first. Anyone for coffee, nan? Anyone for coffee? Is it half a cup? Fuck up! Fuck up, is it? What time is it? 10 past 2. 10 past 2? Do you expect me to believe that? It's jolly well possible. Anyone for coffee? The last time we tried it, we were in a Chinese restaurant. We went, oh, Nan, there's no fork and knife. What are we going to do? There's no fork and knife, Nan. There's no fork and knife. What are we going to do, Nan? She went, I don't know. I'll probably try and have to use the fork and chopsticks, you patronising pair of little... It's her attitude. If you can't beat them, what's the point in having kids? I'm obsessed with swearing, though, because this is great, because this show's going out after 9:30. Well, it is now, but this show's going out after 9:30, right? How did I know it was CBeebies? No, it's going on after 9:30, and I love the fact that... I don't know why, but you can't swear on telly before 9:30, but you can after 9:30. I think the BBC, as a nation, just think we're all just sat round going, oh, Marjorie, Would you possibly pass me the bread sauce? This fish is simply divine. Why, certainly, Kenneth. It really is a tasty salmon. Tell me, my darling, are you aware of the time? Why, allow me to check on my small pocket antique silver wristwatch, left for me by Grandpapa all of these years ago in his will. Why, I believe it has just gone the hour of 9:30. Thank fuck for that! Let's get and shit on the Christmas tree, you dirty bitch! Like I am from Lancashire, and I haven't got a proper Lancashire accent anymore. That went a few years ago, I'm afraid, because proper Lancashire, of course, is surprised to hell about everything all the time. And real issues in a shoe shop, couldn't believe it, it were great. Opened a tin of peas, looked inside, there were peas, it were great. My favourite accent at the moment is the South African accent. I love the fact that the South African accent is just... You know when you used to record records in the 70s backwards, and then when you played them backwards, they sounded forwards? That's what South African is, isn't it? It's just the record player backwards. Hello, my name's Lee, and I'm from England. Oh, my name's Dave, and I came from South Africa. I don't lucky, get it, I don't like living in London. He's too expensive. He's too expensive, and I don't like it. Kill your parents, kill them, Beelzebub, kill your parents. Whereas the Australians, they just sound like a record that won't start properly. Where are you from, mate? I'm from Melbourne, mate. And how long have you lived there? About 14 fucking years, mate. Fucking love it, mate.
So I'm a single mum, right? And whatever people say, it is different than being a single dad. Because women see single dads and go, oh, he's so good with his kids. Isn't he coping wonderfully? Oh, he's so good with his children. I must have sex with him now. Whereas men see single mums and they go, run him out, baggage! I went on a date with a guy that called my little boy baggage. He's 3. He's not baggage. He's hand luggage. He just fits in the overhead lockers. It's kind of perfect. Recently, my brother said, look, Shap, you've been separated for ages now. You really need to find yourself a new fella. Why don't you go on the internet? Because my brother found his girlfriend on the internet. I think it was eBay. So I joined an internet website, and to my surprise, right, on the online form that you had to fill in, one of the things you had to tick to see who you wanted was racial preference, and it said white, Caucasian, 3 boxes, not important, decidedly important, absolutely crucial. And I thought that's a little bit weird, because your photo's up there in the first place, so you can just be racist in private. You know, why hurt anyone's feelings, right? So I want to show you this. I wrote an email to the administrator of this website. I wrote him an email, basically, in a nutshell, going, what are you on, mate? And he wrote back, going, the choices we provide on our matching algorithms, I had to look that word up, nothing to do with sex, are for our users to find the perfect match. They are in no way indicative of someone being racist at all. White, Caucasian, absolutely crucial. All right, so I wrote back going, shut up, a bit more coherently than that. And then he wrote back and said, some people are more stringent than others when it comes to finding a partner. Doesn't that sound like a real dig at me? Like, oh, you'd shag any old colour. We merely help them find the right person by enabling them to measure height, weight, occupation, level of income, and ethnicity. Thing is, height, weight, occupation, level of income, they're all things that can be measured. How do you measure ethnicity? I had no idea how to measure my own when I was filling out the form. I had to look on a Dulux colour chart. Turns out I'm natural calico. This correspondence went on for quite a while, right? And tell me if you think I went too far. Eventually, I sent him a copy of the Nuremberg race laws. I'm not saying that this website is a Nazi organisation. I just think we should nip things in the bud at source. He wrote back to me and said, Dear Shappy, I've enjoyed our correspondence. I have now noticed your name is Shappy Corsandi. Might you be the same Shappy Corsandi I saw on the Michael McIntyre Comedy Roadshow? If So, I am single. And I wondered if you'd like to go for a coffee. Won't this be a funny story to tell our kids? Smiley face. I wrote back. I said, thank you so much for your email. I'm very flattered. However, I've noticed your name is James Chowdhury. Little bit too brown for me. Natural colour code.
But it's not just like being an adult like that scares me like that. I struggled when I was a child. Like, I was terrified all the time. Weird things, like things my dad warned me about, like running with scissors. I hadn't even considered that till he suggested it. I don't know about you, I've never been so excited about cutting something. I've even broken into a jog. It's gone, bloody hell, I can't wait to open this fate. Oh my God, I've stabbed myself in the stomach. Why is there no warning on these things? But that's the thing about being a kid, like that you're kind of convinced into doing things like that you don't want to do, even though you just do them. Like weird things like bobbing for apples. I don't know why you do that. I spent my childhood trying to avoid eating an apple. You put that apple in water, you put my hands behind my back, I will drown myself to eat that apple. It's me or the apple, I couldn't give a shit. I'm waterboarding for apples, that is fine with me. It's the thing, isn't it? If you make things into a competition, people want the prize, no matter what it is. Like those 2p pushing machines you get on Piers. I spent my life trying to get rid of 2p's. You put them on a moving shelf. I'm having all those 2p's if it kills me. Not just those 2p's, I'm getting this pound coin, I'm changing that into more 2p's. To get these 2p's. I go for the one that's not just 2p's, it's got extra items balanced on top. I want less than the 2p's. That's not just 2p's, is it? That's a Shabarang's key fob. I remember Shabarang's, I've got keys, I'm having it. That's not just 2p's, that's a flump. I'm going to eat a flump, I don't want it served on a bed of loose change. Also a flump, retail price 1p. I am paying double for food poisoning. And I won't see these things in ages. The moment I see them, I am acting like I'm an expert, going, well, that one's not going to fall, I can see that. That one's a maybe, that one's going to pay out big, that is the 10p's, I'm going nowhere near that, I'm not made of money. No one's ever been on the 10p pushing machine, it's not Monte Carlo. It's not a guy on the screen's going, that guy's got a system, get him out, he's 2 Tamagotchis up, he'll ruin us. And you're going, I'm going to win big. Who has ever won big on the 2p pushing machine? It's gone, darling, good news, dinner's on me. I won big down at the pier. I have 400 kilos of loose change. Yes, book late, it will take me some time to walk there. The other one I'll always go on is the plastic horse racing where you'll bet on the horses. I'll always go on that, but I don't know why. I always watch a few races to check the form. What am I expecting to see in that situation? Go, oh my God, that blue one's lame, thank God I checked. The final one I go, is a dance simulator with the arrows coming up on the screen, the arrows on the floor. Just be stood for ages like this going, well, I tell you what, I am a better dancer than I thought. You do that in a nightclub, you are not a better dancer than you think. You like these moves, girls? Wait for the big one. Here it comes. There it is. Thank you very much.
And I love Argos, man. My woman took me there, man. I freaked out about Argos. You English people do stuff different. You got that catalog shopping at Argos. The only store where you keep the catalog at the store. Like people go, hey, do you want to go down to Argos and check out the catalog? Why didn't we bring it here? Because that's not what you do here. You're going to go down there and check if stuff's in stock or out of stock. Spend a day with it. And I'll tell you something, Argos freaked me out. First time I ever walked into Argos, they made me feel like I was a spy. Because I walked up to that teller, and I handed her this little piece of paper. And she just looked at me and went, okay. Go to checkpoint B. Yeah, I went to checkpoint B. They didn't even know who I was, man. I was like, you don't know me? I'm 376. I think you have a package for me. My woman, she loves Argos, man. My woman loves Argos because of that catalog. Women love catalogs. Catalog to a woman is like the Bible, except real. Yeah, stuff actually happens in the catalog. My woman doesn't even need to look at the index to know what page the stuff she wants is on. My woman walk into Argos, just kick those doors open, grab her little red gambler pen there. Feel lucky, Tom. She'll flip through that catalog like she was a Jedi Knight. She'll be like, that's what I want, Tom. And I'm always amazed. I'm like, wow, how'd you do that? She goes, I'll show you something else, Tom. That's what you want. And I'm standing there looking at it going, I don't even know what I want. And then I look at it and go, holy shit, that is what I want. A trampoline. Yeah, because I didn't want a trampoline for $129.95, but for $79.95, I needed a trampoline. I'm gonna tell you something, you can't just buy no trampoline. You gotta get all your trampoline trimmings. Huh? Gotta get that safety cage in case you don't know how to bounce up and down. One of these sideway bouncers. Turns out I'm a sideway bouncer. I was bouncing from side to side. I smashed my head against that safety bar, and I'm bleeding in the safety cage. Thank God that safety bar was there to stop me from landing on that soft grass.
I'd love to see England play New Zealand in the rugby in the finals, and while the All Blacks are doing the haka, the English team is doing a little bit of Morris dancing. Hankies and ribbons. Go under, you go under. Didn't look at me watch when it came on. Pretty stupid looking at it now, to be honest. Need your eyebrows up to look at your watch. If you don't have your eyebrows up, you don't take in the time, do you? My watch has got the date on it, and some months have got 30 days, others have got 31, and the ones that have got 30, you have to do the extra day yourself. But before you do it, you always do that rhyme in your head. You know the rhyme, 30 days has September. You always do the rhyme twice, because you get the end of the rhyme the first time, and then you're thinking, hang on, I wasn't listening to myself. I was trying to see how fast I could go. Now, you never get to the end of the rhyme. You only get to the month that you need to know, and you think, there's no point in doing the whole rhyme. That's all I need to know. Some months are easier than other months. September's very easy. You go 30 days has September. All right. It's not a good rhyme, though, is it? Starts out good. Just drops off towards the end. This is what we learned at school. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest of 31, except for February. It's got 28. Except for leap year, it's got 29. Whoever got that job to make that rhyme obviously got bored halfway through. I haven't time for this. I have other rhymes to be working on. I'm a busy boy. So, life's good, but tedious. Isn't it? It's just the same shit over and over again. Putting the bins out, that's a real reminder of how tedious life is. I've been here before, I hate this. Sneaking rubbish into other people's bins, I enjoyed that. Balaclava on. Never been caught. I hate it when I'm in bed and then I realise I haven't put the bins out. You know when you're lying like, bin night. Or bin morning when you're in a deep sleep and you can hear the bin truck. Running down the path naked with 2 bins behind you. That's no way to start the day, is it?
You don't get trained by our dads, us heterosexual single men, right? We don't get trained about how to cope if we're single. Or we get drenched in sort of misogynistic testosterone images, you must shag at all time. What if you can't? What if you're emotionally incapable, if that makes sense? Right? I am straight. Sometimes I look at myself and go, WTF, but totes am. So... Random. Why is he being so random? I love it. Say badger, badger. Oh my God, he's so groundbreaking. Every girl in this room, whether you were brought up by your mum, your nan or aunt, you had a female figure that always sat you down and went, babe, mum, I'm an adult now, I don't need to talk, I don't care. I want you to have fun tonight, but listen, if at any point you change your mind, you call me, I will come out and get you in the Nissan Micra. I will come and, mum, you're in back, I don't care, get a taxi, I will pay for it, I'll be in the cupboard, I'll be watching, checking your safe. Be honest, how many guys, especially if you're from my background, white, working class, shaven-headed, racist, cockney dad. My dad's got not 1, not 2, but 3 ripples of meat between head and neck, yeah? An Essex triple ripple. Want me to carry a breeze block? Stick in my triple ripple, no problem. It's unthinkable that if by some miracle I'd pulled a girl when I was 16, my dad had sat me down and gone, now, I do want you to have fun tonight, son, but do not feel any pressure whatsoever to do anything sexual, yeah? Even though your virginity shames me on a daily basis, right? And down the pub they call me Dave, the dad of the gayer. Don't feel any pressure. That's the only thing which trumps my dad's racism is his virulent homophobia. His fear that his eldest son might be gay. Of course, that's made me more camp. There was just streams of thin men running up to my bedroom the whole time. I was into Dungeons and Dragons till I was 21. I'm going to be a wizard tonight. Downstairs, they're up there bumming. I know they're bumming. I know. Take it out, my son. What does Expelliarmus mean? And of course, you know, the last time I did Apollo, it's a couple of years ago, it goes out, it was on TV in December, and I had to face my dad that Christmas, having brought him to life like this on stage. And I thought he was going to be angry, and I wasn't prepared for the softening of the alpha's face, yeah? Tears glistening his silver back as he waited for me in the kitchen. I had to chuck a poo to show he was dominant. This is what really happened. It was almost touching, Apollo, almost touching, right? You know what these dads are like? They suddenly show emotions once every 8 Christmases. They have too many Stellas and they do the wobble like that. You know, I swear you're my boy, I'll never tell you I love you. You know what I mean? That comes, where's this coming from? Right? My dad had never said it. And he's got the 5 Stella wobble, the Christmas hat. He went, come here. And he gets the programme name wrong all the time. I saw you on that live from the Apollo, yeah? Just to wind me up, right? Right? Why'd you make it out? 3-syllable Essex out. Why'd you make it out? Why'd you make out? Right? Why'd you make out? I'm not a loving father. I'm like, where is this coming from? This is quite late in my childhood for this type of closure, and us men, we have to pretend we don't want it, but you do want to hear it. If you're 50 and your dad's 70, you'll cry like a bitch if he uses the L word. Right? Why'd you make out? I'm not a loving father. And I leant in for what I thought was going to be my closure. Do you know what came out of his mouth as his masculinity kicked back in? Why'd you make out? I'm not a loving father. Why, Dad? Yeah, I never bloody hit ya. That was it. That's the total skills it takes to be father of the year. Just don't beat your offspring in the face. That's all. I've not smashed my son's head in. Here comes Scylla with an award. Right? But he backed it up. It got better. Do you know why? Do you know why I never hit you? Do you know why? And I leant in. Why, Dad? I could have almost said, Daddy. I'd regressed so much at this point. Like, you know what it's like? You're 8. If you've got a dad like mine, you're 8 when he looks at you. You'll always be 8 until he dies. Why? Do you know why I never hit your boy? Why, Dad? And this is what came out of his mouth, and I was waiting for the love again. It's because if I'd started, I wouldn't have effing stopped. Murder! That's murder!
It was lovely the way I was introduced there. It's really nice to be introduced. It's a really nice thing to get used to in a new job when somebody says your name and people clap and cheer. It's lovely. It was a little bit weird at the doctor's the other day. Nobody clapped. Every time I said clap, I think they thought that's what I had. But I decided in January, I think a lot of people do this in January, decided in January to try to sort of better myself. I'm not really bothered about losing weight, but I quite like the idea of getting fit, so I thought I'll get myself an exercise DVD. Now, you know when your partner goes shopping and they say, do you want anything? And you're supposed to say no, but instead you give them a list. Sometimes I just make shit up I don't even need just to see his face. And he looks at the list and he goes, what's the difference between a tangerine and a satsuma? Ha ha, it's a test. And I said to him, could you get us an exercise DVD? That's what I thought I'd do. I'd get an exercise DVD. I said, just like a bog standard, like a beginner's guide, a very basic exercise DVD. And he said, no problem. He came home with Davina's Buff Your Abs. I thought I'm going to have to lose 3 stone before I can find me bloody abs. So I took it back and I swapped it for the one that I wanted, which was, just fat lass has a go, Or the sequel, Fat Lass Tries Again. And I watched the first few minutes, and you know how it's always a celebrity and a trainer, isn't it? Because a celebrity sells the DVDs and the trainer knows what they're doing. And in the first few minutes, they were both laughing at nothing. It was very unnerving. And the trainer said to the celebrity, why don't you tell the viewers at home what weight you were when you started this regime? The celebrity went, when I started this regime, I was 10 stone. I realised then that I'm aiming for a start weight. But I like to eat. Is that so bad? I like to eat. Sometimes I think I've got a tapeworm, but that it's just full. But I'm trying to eat more healthily. I had an apple the other day. Thank you. I'd put it in my handbag on an optimistic Monday. And by the Thursday, there weren't any Kit Kats left. And I was starving. I thought, I'm going to have to find it. So I looked around in my handbag. And I found it. It was prematurely bruised and battered. It had pen on it. But I was starving, so I peeled off the clean panty liner and I ate it. And it was all right. It was all right. It really reminded me of something I'd had years ago that I liked, and I was like, what does it remind me of? I can't remember. Toffee apples.
Hope I haven't offended anybody. You don't know. You can talk about whatever you want on stage. Nobody gives a toss. You talk about cats. Don't talk about cats on TV. You know? Even if it's a funny thing about cats. Like Cat in the Bin. Remember that? There was a week of Cat in the Bin. A week of a cat going into a bin. You remember the first time you saw that horrific, horrific footage? The cat go into the bin. I know, live it with me, brothers and sisters. Is it just me, or was your first reaction, why is Susan Boyle putting a cat in the bin? What the hell's going on? Genuine, my first reaction when I saw the cat go in, I've turned into such an environmental idiot as I've got older. Genuine, my first reaction when I saw the cat go into the bin was, oh God, no, wrong bin. A cat is 100% recyclable. You never know, man. I love the news. And the tabloids. I love the tabloids, man. But are they creepy? Oh, you better believe they are. Here's a classic example, lad. The Middletons. Kate and Pippa. Right? They must have been raised in pretty much the same upbringing, right? They've got to be pretty similar women. Not in the tabloids, they're not. I feel sorry for Pippa, do you? Because all the filth is on her, isn't it? Because the tabloids can't say anything untoward about Kate, not the future Queen of England. So, oh, here she comes. Lovely, lovely Kate. Oh, lovely, lovely Kate. Here she comes. Duchess of Cambridge. Future Queen of England. Here she is. Oh. Handing out coins to the immigrant children. Look at filthy Pippa. Oh, you filthy cat. Who brings an arse to a wedding? Oh, lovely, lovely Kate. Oh, healing the poor with her eyes. Oh. Look at filthy Pippa. Down the docks with a bell. Ding, ding. Come and get it, boys. Come on. That's all I'm saying, people. I hope I haven't offended anyone. You just don't know when you're a comedian. I'll give you an example of this. I did a gig for the biscuit industry. That's right, people. I work for the biscuit industry. I know. It was terrifying, man. It was 15 biscuit businessmen. And I was dreading it, man. You know, not like this. I knew you were going to be good. But it turns out they were great. They were fantastic. And that's why I said it. I only said it because they were good. And I didn't walk straight on and say it. At the end of the gig, I went, listen, you've been fantastic. They were like, more. I'm like, no, I can't. I have to go do another gig. But before I go, can I ask you something? They're like, yeah. Anything? Yeah. It's about biscuits. Yeah. This is all I managed to say before the whole crap house went up in flames. Wagon wheels. They're the same size as they've always been.
I went out recently on a shopping expedition to buy 1 carrot. Right, that was all I wanted, a single carrot. My wife was cooking. She wasn't just cooking that. She had a recipe of which that was a component. She wasn't just going to cook the carrot. There you are, like an ice lolly. It was more ambitious. And I tend to. She tends to do most of the cooking. I'm aware. Some people are thinking, I doubt he's got a wife. I bloody have. There's no time to prove it, but just take my word for it. There we are. I own a woman. So she. You can't say that these days, can you? Anyway, so to get onto more politically correct ground, my wife does all the cooking. Actually, well, it's actually true. I pretty much let my wife cook, but purely because it's a just sensible distribution of skills. My wife is a good cook, and I'm very poor at it. So my wife tends to do the cooking. I think it's quite an enlightened attitude, you know. I think these days cooking tends to be quite a sort of testosterone-dominated field. It's all your Gordon Ramsay, Marco Pierre, all these people, you know, Jamie Oliver. It's all men. I think someone should be modern enough to say, let's get women cooking. You know, let's be 21st century about this. They've got the same rights as we have in the kitchen. So my wife sent me out to a dangerous gag. No, I wouldn't clap that. That's sort of more clever than funny, really. So my wife was cooking, and I'm happy with my role, which is basically, you know, just foraging. But I went to buy this one, I say foraging, it's very much so. Normally, if you go to Tesco, you will lay hands on a carrot. There's no real jeopardy there. Still, I like to pick it up and go, "You got it!" You know. But actually, well, this is my point. It was surprisingly hard to buy a bloody carrot, right, for a start. So I took it to the till. This is all I was buying, 1 carrot. First of all, this lady tried to put it in a bag for me, and I always try, you know, to not take a bag if I don't need one for environmental reasons. But they're furious. You'll have tried doing this. If you say, "I don't need a bag," they look at you like, "How dare you? How dare you?" This woman she said, "What are you going to do?" I was like, "Well, I don't want to appear cocky here, but I've got 2 hands, there's only 1 carrot. I think I will nail this. I'm almost certain I'll get this home by hook or by crook. What am I going to do? Just walk around with 1 carrot in a bag? I've got my carrot in a bag. How's your day? Yeah, great, just walking with my carrot in its bag. I've got a piece of celery at home and a little bit of Tupperware as well." So, I don't want to make out I'm someone with a repertoire of vegetables that I walk... Anyway, then there's a receipt. She insisted on printing out a bloody receipt, and which meant the till roll had to be changed. Why? Why do you need a receipt for this transaction? All I'm buying is a single carrot. Why would you ever need a receipt? You're not going to bite into it and think, "Hang on, this is a pear." Right? It's basically, buying a carrot can't go that badly wrong. So by now I'm really impatient. I was frothing with impatience. I wanted to get home, see my wife, whether she exists or not. And finally, just when I thought I had finally secured this carrot, as I was walking out, this girl said, "Excuse me, sorry, before you go." So now I have to listen. I said, "Yes?" She said, "Did you want to pre-order the Harry Potter DVD?" Now, what part of my actions so far will give you that impression? I was trying to be polite. I said, "Sorry?" She said, by now she's impatient, like I'm some sort of idiot. "Did you want to pre-order the Harry Potter DVD?" I mean, no, not really. My aim was to buy a carrot, and I would say I've achieved that modest aim. I mean, if I wanted to buy a Harry Potter DVD, what I'd probably do is go to somewhere like HMV, for example. I'd go to a place where you can buy DVDs. I'd pre-order it. When the time came, I would collect it. I'd take it home. I'd watch it. I wouldn't approach this transaction by going to a supermarket, seizing a carrot from the fruit and veg bit, and then standing there at the checkout thinking, "She knows what I really want here." She'll gather my true intentions. She knows that this carrot is a sort of metaphor for an orange wand.
Tell me, does anyone here own a cat? Your houses stink. Someone's got to tell him. Some people like cats, some people don't. I was reading the other day, apparently the Pope, he's a cataholic. Catholic. I've had an interesting job recently. I pretended to be a Spanish dentist. Thanks, that doesn't normally work. They said about me that I was too immature to be a father, but when I saw the first few seconds of my son's life, I thought to myself, he's naked. When my daughter was born, she had jaundice, so there she was, small, round, and yellow. We called her Melanie. My parents came up last weekend because I keep them in the cellar. That's not true. I don't know who they are. See, when I was young, I used to walk through the front door. I was hit by roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, open the airing cupboard, spaghetti bolognese all over me. We literally didn't know where the next meal was coming from. My grandparents, their names are Pearl and Dean. Of course, we just know them as Gran and Grandpapa, Papa, 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 Papa. Any students here? Your houses stink. Someone's got to tell them. Don't talk to me about unemployment. I come from a tiny fishing village in Derbyshire. I work... It's not near the sea.